And here's the thing, being less obvious will make them feel more comfortable. If you're trying too hard to show them all the cool stuff, that oddly, even though you're being a good host, will make them more uncomfortable. You're like, why is he trying so hard? He clearly has an agenda. He wants to impress me. Whereas if you're just having a good time and you're not trying to impress her, she'll think less that you're just trying to get in her pants. Like, it was obvious to her she could have you, so there was no challenge anymore. Whereas contrast that to this guy like ignoring her and like trying to not, whatever. It's just a different dynamic. And you could have done that. I mean, being the host, you have all the power in the world to control all those elements, right? So here's like, not that you should do this because it's very technique-y stuff. It's not even stuff you have to do, right? But so for example, like when you're pouring everybody drinks, you pour everybody drinks and then like subtly forget hers. I'm just like, where's my drink? Oh shit, sorry, I forgot. Boom, not obvious. Right, just little stupid stuff like that. Like you're being super nice and it's not intentional. You just pour drinks for everybody. Oh, everybody got your drinks. Okay, cool. And she's like, "Where's my drink?" Like, oh, I'm sorry. You should speak up. My goodness. You gotta assert yourself. Anyway, here you go. Right? You're super nice about it, but you just kind of sort of forgot. Or for example, like you're in the middle of a conversation. Maybe you're on the couch, you're doing hookah, and she's like, "Tell me about this particular thing," and you're like, "I will, but 1 second." And then you get up and go check something in the kitchen and then come back in a second. And then you sit back down and instead of sitting next to her, you sit like a little further away. Okay, so where were we? And she's like, wait, why did he get up in the middle of the conversation? Why did he come sit less close to me? Right, so there's all these little vibe things you can do and you're the host. It's your home turf. Like you get to make all the rules. One good thing you did, by the way, was the shoes off thing, right? You were dominant and all that kind of stuff. That was great. Shoes off? Yeah, shoes, everybody, right? That kind of stuff where you're like, hey guys, shoes. Yeah, I mean like a little respect, please, right? Like, and you can tease them on that. I don't know what they do in Mexico, but like here I'm kidding, sort of. Okay. Yeah, but even there, you do want to make them feel comfortable, but again, being less obvious. And here's the thing, being less obvious will make them feel more comfortable. If you're trying too hard to show them all the cool stuff, that oddly, even though you're being a good host, will make them more uncomfortable. You're like, why is he trying so hard? He clearly has an agenda. He wants to impress me. Whereas if you're just having a good time and you're not trying to impress her, she'll think less that you're just trying to get in her pants. Right? That was her basic, when she said too obvious, basically she's saying, I felt like your friend just wanted to get in my pants. Does that make sense? In a sense. Right? You were being too obvious that you wanted something from her. As opposed to being like, yeah, I'm just chilling, doing my thing, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was solid enough, but the point is everything's a trend, right? So once it starts getting a little obvious, then she loses a little bit of attraction, and then it becomes she's a little less receptive, and then you try a little harder because you feel that loss of attention, then it becomes more obvious. Pretty soon you feel like you're chasing. Can also snowball the other way, right? You get back to your place and you're a little dismissive, and now she's like, wait, why doesn't this guy like me anymore? And she starts chasing you, and now it gets easier, and then you're more dismissive and she starts chasing you. So it can either snowball in one direction or snowball in the other direction, right? So it's just this tiny little thing that just builds on itself and builds on itself and builds on itself. And that's what happened. It just unraveled a little bit, and then it kept unraveling because of the initial unraveling and because of your reaction to the initial unraveling. Right. But overall, it was good. I mean, like, what you did will work in most cases, right? Had, for example, he been able to isolate his girl a little bit, like if he'd been able to pull his girl to one of the other rooms early on, and you'd had because early on it was very on in your apartment, it's just that you lost momentum later on. If he had been able to pull his girl home earlier when it was still more on, maybe that would have worked. Or if instead of, not that you did the right thing taking your girl all the way home, but for your sake, had he just pulled her to a bedroom instead of all the way home, and she knew her friend was already still there, maybe she would have been more comfortable, and then she would have whatever, right? Even though for you it was the best move, and it was in general the best move too, right? But in this particular case, something like that might have played better.